Yes. The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Well, Donkey of the Day for Thursday, February 25th goes to former NFL football player Herschel Walker. Yesterday, during a U.S. House hearing, Herschel Walker said that black Americans should not receive reparations. Yes, they had a virtual congressional hearing for H.R. 40, which is a bill sponsored by Democratic Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas, which would create a commission to study reparation proposals. I know. What is there to study in regards to reparations? Either give it to black people or don't. It's like when you watch the George Floyd murder and then, here they are investigating the crime before they take any action against the police. And you're like, what is there to investigate? Did you not see what I saw? We all saw the video. Same with reparations. What is there to study? We know what slavery was. We will get to all that in a second. But first, let's listen to a man who clearly was broadcasting live from the sunken place during this virtual congressional hearing. This is Herschel Walker discussing why black people should not get reparations.
I asked the question why. There's been many surveys show that a large percentage of black and white teens would say racism is better today than yesterday. We use black power to create white guilt. My approach is biblical. How can I ask my Heavenly Father to forgive me if I can't forgive my brother? My religion teaches togetherness. Reparation teaches separation. Slavery ended over 130 years ago. How can a father be asked his son to spend prison time for a crime he committed? Reparation. Where would the money come from? Does it come from all the other races except the black taxpayers? Who is black? What percentage of black must you be to receive reparation? Do you go to 23andMe or a DNA test to determine the percentage of blackness? Some American ancestors just came to this country 80 years ago. Their ancestor wasn't even here during slavery. Some states didn't even have slavery. Dr. King, I Have a Dream speech, said the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation was a great beacon of light, but hundreds of years later, we're still not free because of segregation and discrimination. Today, I call that reparation.
Lord have mercy. Where do we begin? It's so much to unpack here, as my therapist would say. Black power created white guilt. No, white supremacy created black genocide, which is what created white guilt. God damn, Herschel, who team you on? Why am I asking that question like I don't know the answer? But like the late, great Nipsey Hussle said, block for me, black man. They trying to scratch us. I know you played a little fullback and you were more of a ball handler than a blocker, but goddamn, Herschel Walker, if you're a black person, there's absolutely no reason for you to step on anything that will possibly help black people, especially reparations. Now, back to what I said earlier about the study of reparations. I know folks is like, why the hell we need a study? Okay, if you need a study, watch Roots. Okay, watch Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation. That should be all the study you need. But when I talk to people much smarter than me on these issues, they can explain to you that any bill specifically for black people would likely be considered unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment unless it was narrowly tailored. So that's why reparations has been framed first as a study and then some form of action, because the study would show that a proposed course of action would be narrowly tailored, right? So this is why Herschel Walker needs to shut the F up forever. Because Herschel, if instead of, you getting on that virtual hearing and clearly reading prepared statements that I'm sure a Caucasian wrote for you, how about let the study happen so you wouldn't have so many questions, okay? All those questions you ask could be answered if you let the study happen. But boy, when Massa runs the play. Remember when Birdie told Kyle at Above the Rim, you may have on the other team's jersey, but you play for me? That's Herschel Walker. He may be black, but he clearly plays for the white supremacists, okay? Herschel, do you realize 75% of black people support reparations for slavery? I repeat, 75% of black people support reparations for slavery. 75%. 3/4. You quarter-water Negroes who don't agree, you are your ancestors' wildest embarrassment. Okay, you talking all this rhetoric about being a biblical person. You show me in the Bible where there isn't consequences for actions. All throughout the Bible. It's stories of people making choices, and those choices have consequences. America made a choice, and that choice was to enslave people, so there have to be consequences and repercussions to this country for that original sin. Herschel, imagine after 12 years in the NFL, they told you that they weren't giving you a pension. They wasn't giving you a pension just because, even though you busted your ass on that field for 12 years and earned it. They said, no, we just not giving it to you. Now imagine if you were forced to play ball against your will, you never got paid for it, but the whole league benefited off your free labor, your blood, sweat, and tears. That's what built the NFL. Imagine that. Imagine that, and you got nothing for it. But then in the future, it was an opportunity, possibly for you to get some payback, some retribution, because the league wanted to atone for all the years of forced free labor they got out of you. Would you tell the NFL, no, y'all good? That was a long time ago. Hell no, you wouldn't. And you would look at anyone crazy who dares say that. That's how we are all looking at you right now. All I ever ask anyone is if you aren't willing to help, don't hurt. Okay? If you don't want reparations, fine. Give your check to somebody else when the money comes. But don't block everyone else from attempting to get what's owed to black people. Because we built this country for free. And I'm going to tell you something else, Herschel. All those questions you have can be answered if you stop listening to the 85% of Caucasians who don't agree with reparations. And listen to people like Dr. Sandy Darity. Listen to Reverend William Barber. Listen to Ta-Nehisi Coates. Have a conversation with people who know what they're talking about. Matter of fact, listen to the reparations Big Payback podcast hosted by Erica Alexander and Whitney Dow. We had them on Breakfast Club last week. Would you like to hear some of what they had to say since you got questions? Let's play a little bit of Erica, see if she can answer some for Herschel Walker.
Because a lot of people think that it's just about a check or it's only about a check or, and that's so crude. It's kind of grotesque. The problem is there's a pain and suffering of all these people. Millions and millions of Africans died, and we denied citizenship. We were denied all sorts of restitution. They did experimentation on us, Tuskegee. They continue to do things, mass incarceration. These are all plagues among us. So should it just be a check? No. Should it be a check? I absolutely believe it should, because I think that money is power.
That was Eric Alexander. Now, would you like to hear from Whitney Dow, a white man, okay? One of the 15% of white people who agree black people should get reparations. Listen.
One of the big things that has to happen, one reason why reparations hasn't happened, it's going to force white Americans to reimagine their own story. And that's the existential threat. That's the threat that, to get white people to say, accept their history, accept their legacy of being part of this white supremacist structure. That's why people are storming the Capitol, not because that they're thinking that they think that somehow the election was stolen, but they're being told that, hey, the bills come due. This is the reality of the world. And for someone, I did this project called the Whiteness Project, where I talked to 300 white people about being white. It's an existential threat. To accept that means I'm not who I think I am.
Look, man, if you're not willing to help, don't hurt. Okay? Once again, Herschel Walker, if you're not willing to help, don't hurt. In the meantime, shut your thick neck ass up forever. Please give Herschel Walker. Let Remy Ma give Herschel Walker the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
Let Kathy Griffin get some of that, too, because this is mayonnaise on this Nutella.
Please give this giant jar of mayo the biggest hee-haw.
All right.
It's the darkest jar of mayonnaise I've ever seen in my life. Who put dye in this mayonnaise?
All right.
Huh?
You all right over there? You sweating so bad?
It's hot in here.
So take off.
Oh, your clothes.
Oh, I'm going to HR. Let's go, baby. You just asked me to take off all my clothes?
I'm singing a song. That's what I'm doing. I'm singing a song. What is wrong? You all right, bro? Having hot flashes over there.
You need a credit card to swipe on them?
All right. Thank you for that donkey today. Up next, Ask Ye. 800.
Disgusting.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.